Hi, I'm Nancy Hanson-Rasmussen, and I teach Diversity in the Workplace, better known as BS80 300. The unit that you saw was actually one on disabilities and health issues in the workplace, and we were working on how to make a reasonable accommodation for a disability. I wanted the students to be able to think about kind of a situation, and most of them were very common situations that would happen at work, and how, without spending a lot of money, they could actually accommodate for an employee, make a small adjustment. And when they rotated around the room, each of them wrote down kind of their group's suggestion of what could be done. But as the day went on, or as the activity went on, they could look and see what the other groups had suggested, and then it would say, oh, that's not a bad idea. We could do this too. And then they would be able to kind of build off each other's ideas. I wanted them to be able to read what other groups had said. And what I'd like to spend a few minutes doing, actually more than a few minutes, is have us break into 5 groups. You'll travel around with your group. Every time I say shift, we'll go clockwise one paper. You read the little scenario on the wall, and your group kind of as a whole looks at it and they say, yep, here's our answer to this one. You just write it somewhere on that chart paper, and then we'll rotate to the next one.
It was basically like this applicant wants to come in at 10 a.m. versus 8:30, and there's a receptionist that works from 9:30 to 5, and we want to have the receptionist come in at 8:30 instead of 9:30 if it's okay with her, instead of hiring someone for an hour and a half.
By looking at the different scenarios, the students could kind of think of, yeah, you know what? What if I did need to do a job interview down on the first floor of the building and I wanted to hire the person? Does that mean I would have to make, if they're using a wheelchair, I'd have to make their whole job on the first floor? Or are there some other ways around that, some other things we could do? Lots of problem solving, and the whole thing about there's a lot of fear about hiring people with disabilities at work. By seeing how easy it is to make an accommodation and make some changes, and kind of thinking out of the box, it's not such a big deal.
I think one important lesson to take from the scenarios is that there is no one right answer. It involves negotiating, trying to figure out maybe several good solutions in a particular situation, and solutions that everybody wins, if possible.
Katherine Schneider attends our classes that are discussing disabilities in the workplace, and she comes in and she uses a guide dog, and she's blind, and she tells students a little bit about why they should be interested in hiring people with disabilities at work. She also tells them about common misconceptions and how people have fears that are easy to work through. I think she puts everybody at ease and helps us to really understand how, again, making some minor accommodations can help almost everybody be able to work together well.
It's a pleasure to be in her class, to give concrete examples of what disability is like and how that relates to people who are working in the business field, whether it's disability of their customers or their colleagues or themselves, and how that plays out in the working world.
One thing about this course, and I think it would interest a lot of people, is that it changes every single time it's taught. Diversity is an evolving topic. It doesn't stay the same. We're looking at the news. We keep hearing new things happening in the news. There's always new material. It's dynamic. It's fun. It's a good class.